It's now time to bring it all back. That's right. It's season 2 of Behind the Comic Book Podcast with Mr. 845 Social. Brought to you by Icon Comiccon.
Hey everybody, it's Mr. 845 here, and we're doing it again. The Behind the Comic Book Podcast presented by Icon Comiccon. Icon Comiccon is coming up November the 1st, 2025 from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Fishkill Rec Center. Stay tuned for more, but Icon Comiccon is the way to get there, and you can actually get your tickets for only $5. Online only, at the door it's 10 for anybody 12 and up. And we have like a whole bunch of stuff ready for you, including this guest that we have on right now. His name is AJ. AJ, tell us who you are and what do you do?
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is AJ Morrone, and I am from Pearl River, New York. And I am a local artist who specializes in comic book, superhero, and anime.
Oh, awesome. So, AJ, kind of go through some of the things that you've done. What do you have in the works? Like, I know that you've done a lot of covers. I know that you've done a lot of sketch cards as well.
Yes.
If somebody wants to support some of your works, how exactly would they go about doing that?
Sure. So, yeah, first off, I am on social at, where do I begin? I guess
let's start with
Instagram. Yeah, Instagram at Sonic Ninja. I just got on TikTok, which I never thought I was going to do. I'm like, there's no way, I'm way too old for that. But yeah, everybody's on there now. So on TikTok, it's AJ Morrone, and Facebook. Everywhere else is Sonic Ninja, Sonic_Ninja. Those are my socials. The art that I do is in either like sketch cover format, which if no one is familiar with that, it's a comic book that has a blank cover that the artists get to put whatever creation they want on top, and there's a full comic book inside. I really liked that style because it has like a cool logo of the particular character. For example, you get Amazing Spider-Man, you draw Spider-Man or any Spider-Man related characters on the cover. And I was really drawn to that. When I saw that, I thought that was a really cool thing. But I also work with markers and watercolors.
Awesome. So let's kind of bring it back, and then we'll kind of go to the present. So, let's start as a child, right? I'm sure that becoming a comic book artist or an artist in general is not on your first list of things. It could be, but like kind of go back there and kind of remember, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh yeah. So, starting out drawing as a kid, my mom was very artistic, and she really encouraged me to draw as a young child. And I grew up from elementary to high school drawing what I like to see in comic books and wanting to emulate that. And then this is a really messed up story. So the first time that I ever really thought, oh wow, I want to pursue comic books, I talked to someone that I really admired, someone that I looked up to, that was a mentor to me. And they kind of did the opposite of what I thought they were going to say. And they really discouraged me from doing it. And they told me, oh, no, it's like, if you love this, then you should not do it because it's going to be a grind. It's going to be crazy doing the deadlines and all the hard stuff that comes along with it. And I just listened to that and I said, oh, yeah, wow, maybe I'm not going to do this. So then I ended up not drawing for many, many years. And went to school, pursued like criminal justice for a while, but that never panned out. And now, many years later, I went to New York Comic Con for the first time in a long time, 2015. I met a lot of my favorite artists growing up, and they did the positive encouragement thing. I told them I used to draw when I was young and I wanted to get back into it. So they all said, oh yeah, you should definitely do it. You should definitely go out and start drawing. So from there, I said, okay, how do I learn how to draw? How do I get better? Like, I'm so rusty. So I went on YouTube and watched some like YouTube tutorials and kind of took it from there, and made a lot of friends and a lot of artist friends along the way.
Yeah. So, everybody kind of takes feedback differently, right? So it's always like, sometimes it could be a challenge, right? Mm-hmm. They tell you don't do it. And then you're like, you know what? Screw you. I'm going to do it anyway. And it happens to different people. So negative feedback, and positive feedback can sometimes work. It all depends. But for you, at least it kind of panned out. You have a lot of works that you have going on right now. I mean, I've seen a lot of the covers that you've done, and some of the things that you do. Tell us kind of like what's your go-to? What's the favorite thing that or what's even the first thing that you drew when you started doing sketch covers?
Okay, so for that's easily Deadpool. Deadpool was my favorite from day one, back in the day when he was a bad guy. Not a lot of people realize that he was kind of like, he would betray you at the drop of a hat, and and then somewhere along the way, he kind of turned into like the Bugs Bunny of Marvel, and just breaking the fourth wall and things like that. And I just really enjoyed that character so much. And there's a comic shop in Wayne, New Jersey, that had artist appearances. They would get some of the up and comers from the Kubert School, and they would get them to do an appearance. They would have like a drawing appearance, and then somehow they invited me to tag along with them, and that really got me taking it seriously, because I wanted to be able to hold my own with those guys. So that was kind of like how I got that bug, to like, oh man, I really want to do this. I want to draw for people. I want to do commissions. I want to sell artwork at shows. So that kind of just grew from there.
Yeah. So, now, is it shows that primarily is where you get most of your commissions, or is it online? Like, what's your favorite pathway to ROI or turnover, or however you want to say it?
So that's an interesting question, because originally I was going the live stream route, and there was an app that I kind of invested in that was not the greatest, called Periscope. So Periscope was a live streaming app that I thought was going to be big, because it was connected to then Twitter and then X. But I guess they just didn't know how, where to take it, and how to monetize it. And that just kind of blew up, when I wish that I would have done other stuff like maybe Twitch. But at least now there's a new opportunity with Whatnot and other live streaming platforms. But where I'm going with this is, like, I would jump online, and I would say, hey guys, I'm taking like a sketch request, and then I would draw live, I would do a tutorial, and then at the end, people were able to either auction or make an offer for the work that I had just created, and then from there I would get more commissions, and then that's how that kind of grew. And then I realized that I can get a table at a show, and then now I have enough artwork, that's the collection of my work that's been drawn, that I can actually display it. And, that's how that grew into what I currently do.
Yeah. I mean, it's really important to kind of see the growth that you've taken that path, and you moved from social, if you will, social media, and into the real world. And in the real world, people are still showing up and saying, you know what, I need to talk to AJ. We got to know some good art, So it's great to see kind of like how you had that pathway to like go from something where you're behind the scenes, if you will, in social media world, if you will,
right,
and doing live streams, to like being in front of people's faces and actively doing commissions. And I know you do some of the sketch covers. My uncle's actually purchased some from you, so
yes,
he raves about your stuff all the time.
Thank you, man.
No, I mean, listen, to everybody that's out there, if you're encouraging like people to kind of become an artist or stuff like that, it's important to kind of always talk to the people that are on the come up or established, right? I mean, you did the mentor thing, where you went to your mentor, and then also people that you've loved throughout the years, and you actively said, you know what, I'm going to ask for their opinion. Tell me, like, what do you guys think, right? And sometimes that it can backfire, like what happened with you, and then it did the opposite when you went to the other established artists. It kind of kicked back and said, you know what, let's go.
Yes.
I always ask, and this is kind of like early on in this, but I always ask, like, what is some of the key things that you would tell somebody that's also inspiring to do these things, like art, writing, anything in the comic book world, and it's or not, like fantasy, sci-fi, that type of stuff.
Yeah. So the main thing that really stuck with me was just getting a collection of advice from everyone, was draw every day. And that could apply to everything that you're passionate about, everything that you want to do, whether you want to go into business, draw every day, because there are days where you're just not going to be in the mood to do it, but you really have to do it anyway. That's how you grow as an artist. And, I think that that's really important.
Yeah. I mean, practice makes perfect, right? So a lot of people say, like, if you don't have the talent right away, it doesn't just magically appear. Like,
Exactly.
most people can't just pick up a bat and say, you know what, I'm going to be, Aaron Judge or anything like that,
Right.
or Babe Ruth, or some of the greats out there, like Mickey Mantle or something like that. So you have to practice, and you have to kind of get better at it. And the more that you get better at it, the more you get feedback, and that type of stuff. So for you, if what's your favorite feedback method? Like, if you drew something for somebody, or if you drew it for an artist that you're aspiring to show your work to, a star or something like that, what type of feedback have you gotten, or like, what type of artists have you gone up to and said, hey, can you look at my work? What do you think?
That's I don't do that much yet, because I'm still so self-conscious about the work that I do. But I think that if I were to show it to artists, I think that if I wanted to be a comic book artist, for example, I've learned over the years that they don't just want to see pinup art. They want to see if you can do sequentials, if you can do storytelling. And I still have not gone that route yet, because that's even more time consuming. I have a regular 9-to-5 day job, so it's hard for me, but I am fleshing a story out right now. So I think that I'm going to have to, after these next couple of shows coming up, just focus on doing the storytelling and the sequentials. And then I'll definitely bring that to the further shows and show it to editors and see what they think, So yeah, I'm definitely nervous and excited at the same time, to see what they think.
Yeah, I mean, it gets you to a point where you've done enough covers, you've done enough sketch cards that you want to take it to the next stage, and you want to really kind of like shine, right? I mean, people have loved your work, so why not get it out there even more, and mass produce it? You never know, right?
Right.
And what's the worst they could say? No, right? Or they could say, yes, we love it, let's go, and then that's it. And that's your open opportunity. So when you come to like some of these conventions, right? Tell me kind of like your experience. I know that you've been to multiple. So like, what's your experience in the first one that you've ever won to? How do you break that ice to get somebody who's never seen your work before, or never worked with you, to take a chance on your art? Or, is it just because they love it, or, they meet you and they're like, yo, you're really awesome, man. Like, let me
I think initially you have to kind of break the ice with people that come to your booth and learn what they're into, because maybe something they don't see, but there could be an obscure character, or they could be into anime, but I only have a bunch of superhero art, so I have to say, hey, who's your favorite character, is usually what I start out with. And then from there I'll say, oh yeah, I can definitely draw that, or oh, you know what, I think maybe this guy is better suited to draw what you want. But I'll always be honest with them, and kind of feel them out is what I like to do.
Yeah, I mean, like I said to most people, especially on a couple of my other shows, is art is the eye of the beholder. In some cases, people will love and rave about your art. Some people would just be like, man, it's not my cup of tea. It all depends on their eye, kind of like what they're looking for, and kind of growing. Now, let's talk about the future, right? So like, now you're going into the stage where you're getting your stuff evaluated. You want to get out there. Let's say you wanted to work with a specific publisher or publishers, or series, or what have you. Going forward into the world of actual like publication, who would you want to work with? Who are the companies that you were like, what, I would, if I had the next capability of doing another cover for this genre?
Oh yeah, I think there's two ways to go about that. You can do the draw your favorite thing over and over and over again, and then present that. So if you're like a huge fan of Deadpool, just draw your own Deadpool stories and then present it to them and be like, hey, look, I'm capable of doing this. Or you can go the other route and do your own intellectual property and draw that and kind of present to them something. Hey, I have something new and unique that no one's ever seen before. So those would be the two angles that I would do. I would go to some of the independents, like maybe like an IDW, or image and things like that, and kind of, see what they had to say. Start the bar a little bit lower, but keep moving up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different titles, especially with Image. You got Spawn, you got the King Spawn, you have Scorched, you have
Right.
all these different characters that they have. It's sometimes incredible to see, like IDW, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they have a lot of the cartoons, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yes.
Transformers. If I'm not mistaken, like is the Thundercats on
G.I.
there as
Joe.
well?
Oh
GI
yeah,
Joe?
I think they are. Yeah,
Yeah, so
that's
it's
massive.
great. It's a wide plethora of different covers that you could kind of work with, but also interiors as well.
Right.
Like, what would you prefer? Have you ever done interiors, or do you prefer the cover, the
I haven't
variant cover?
done I haven't done like any interiors since maybe like high school or college, trying to do the storytelling thing. Then everything else since I went back into drawing in like 2015 was drawing. I like portraits. I like drawing portraits, and I like drawing anatomy. So that would be the two things that I focused on. But it's so much more to that when you're trying to tell a story. You got to do like 3-point perspective with buildings and like interiors. Like, where's your story being told? Is it in the woods? Is it inside of a warehouse? There's all those things that come into play. So
Yeah.
a lot of art is looking up reference for things too. So it's a lot of work, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've seen some people that have done interiors. I've interviewed some of them, and I've seen some people that do covers only exclusively, like variants. So it's great to kind of hear like the feedback of kind of like how you would go about things.
Right.
Now, when it comes to your art, I know that you said that you did markers, you did watercolors,
Right.
and pencil.
So it's markers. I'm kind of trying to switch over into watercolors right now. And it's a combination, it's a mixed media. So it's markers with color pencils, it's watercolors. I'm really trying to go the painting route right now because I'm really trying to stand out and not be the same as the person to my left or to my right, so I really want to see what I can do that is unique.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to that, now, have you also dabbed into digital as well, or is it strictly like you're doing hand drawn, not necessarily going the easy route? In some cases, some people say digital is easier, but you're not necessarily doing digital as much.
Yeah, I don't really do much digital at all. I do have an iPad that I was planning on going from hand-drawn pencil phase to digital inks and colors, which I thought would be cool. But it's all traditional for me. I think a lot of the comic book artists, like, you need to have those pieces to be able to sell, because just the comic book alone, getting your $5-10 for the comic is not enough. Like, you have to have those original pages. So if it's digital, I don't know, how much those would actually go for.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's all interesting, and we're always learning, right? So it's something that is like, you never know. You put that out there in the universe, and they're like, you know what? I'm going to be looking at that for you. Like, for instance, like, I seen some of your covers. One of the covers that you did was Afro Samurai, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of, you see the emotion in him, and I saw it that you put it on Instagram with a song behind it. But it was like interesting to see kind of like the smoothness of how his hair flew. And like his hands in his, I believe is that a sword in his hand? I think it's a sword in his hand.
Yeah, over the shoulder.
Yeah. And it's just like you could feel that emotion and kind of like gauge that stuff. So when it came to like structuring different parts of your art, what do you find is the most difficult part of drawing currently?
What's the most difficult part of what?
Drawing currently, like if, let's say, you're doing like different moves with the hands, the arms, the faces. Some artists have problems drawing feet or fingers.
Right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So for you, what do you find is the most difficult part?
I think that there's a lot of tools out there that can help you with anatomy and poses and things like that. So I think what I'm struggling with and trying to get better at is drawing females. Guys draw guys growing up, and girls draw girls growing up. So I think drawing the opposite sex is the challenge, and you try to draw an attractive female, and that takes practice, so that's something that I'm working on, try to, like, people that I really like, or like Jeff DeCall, for example, draws like a really great female and interesting poses, like never straight on, looking up, looking down, to the left, to the right. It's just so much more interesting and dynamic that way. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to emulate that a little bit lately.
Yeah, it brings like life to the picture, because if you're
Right.
just doing like this,
Yeah.
it's like
Exactly.
there's no depth, right? So
Right.
like if you have the light on the side and it's kind of like giving you that shading, you could kind of add a little bit more of that balance with the actual the art or the painting that you do, or the cover.
Yeah.
When it comes to all that type of stuff, I mean, I particularly have seen some weird art out there. Have you ever had like weird requests when it came to art? Like, has somebody said, you know what, I just want their feet up in the air and I want you to destroy their feet?
Oh, wow.
Have you ever
No,
had
I have
anything
not.
weird?
No, I have not been asked to do that, but yeah, that I would not be opposed to it. I mean, you know, there's the not safe for work stuff. There's the interesting, draw my pet or draw my kids as a superhero, that kind of stuff too. So it's all out there. I'm down for whatever, man. Just want to draw.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of kids out there, they kind of they think they could draw, they practice, and sometimes they don't make it. What is the force that keeps you going, showing a lot of the works that you're doing and showing the talent that you have?
Yeah.
What's the one major driver that keeps you going every day and saying, you know what, I want to go back and I want to draw this again. I want to draw that, stuff like that.
Yeah, part of it is always wanting to improve, and it's weird, man. You never see the mistakes that you make until like after it's done, and you look at it and you're like, oh crap, I should have did this, or I should have did that, I should have drawn this way or that way. But I have a group of like three close friends that we chat every single day, and they're all fellow artists, and we just kind of bounce ideas off of each other and are always encouraging each other. And I think it's good to have some kind of a core base of friends that have like interests,
Yeah.
So that's what I would recommend to people. Get a crew together.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. One person has an idea, they say, let's make it into a comic book.
Yeah.
And now you have Image Comics with Spawn, right?
Right. Hell yeah.
You also have like a couple other people like Kevin Eastman coming up with the idea of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Had to come from somewhere, and you had to have people with them. So boom, now it's a huge franchise, something that like everybody knows who the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are. You can't even go like a mile without somebody knowing who those are. Now, if it were to be the first debut thing that you were to be able to do, right? And you were to actually sign with someone, I know that you love Deadpool. But if you had to draw somebody, a character, it could be Deadpool if you want.
Right.
But who would you want to be the first cover of your like big debut?
Oh my God. It's weird. Like Spider-Man comes to mind because there's so many iterations of him. Like I would try to draw it in like a combination of superhero plus anime, which I think might be interesting because then it's appealing to like all the anime heads and all the comic book people. But yeah, that would be something that would be a lot of fun. Oh man, that's a tough one, man. That's
I didn't say my questions were going to be easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, but I mean,
Spider-Man or Deadpool, man. Those are my go-tos.
So I know that, you can always do both because, Spider-Man and Deadpool, they cross over all the time.
Yeah, Deadpool
like
loves Spider-Man.
This weird bromance, if you will.
Exactly.
So it could always be, you never know it. Now, what Spider-Man would you pick? Is it the regular old Peter Parker, or are we going like Ben Reilly, Miles Morales, Spider-Punk,
I got to go symbiote.
Okay. Black suit Spider-Man?
Yeah, black suit Spidey.
Nice.
Yeah, like Secret Wars. That's that way, like old school from that would be the way to go for me.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll hopefully see that in the movies. I'm predicting that we're going to see black suit Spider-Man in the Avengers Secret Wars. We'll see. Hopefully.
How can they not, man? Oh my God.
But hey, listen, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to make sure that I got a lot of the information out here because you're an aspiring artist to kind of go up to, not saying that you haven't done works, but you're aspiring to become that next comic book artist to be known in the names of the Hall of Fame, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about like your hustle. Like, what have you done other than going to cons and doing the live streaming? How have you gotten your name out there? Like, if is there somebody that's aspiring to be an artist and they want to get their name out there, they want to be able to like do the things that you do, how exactly would they go about doing that?
I think in today's day and age, it's the social media presence, which is really the way to go. Grab multiple platforms and put your work out there every day. And when you post your stuff, you have to do not gimmicky, but like ask a question and be like, hey, who do you think, who should I draw next? Who's not gonna like give a request? So stuff like that is gets your engagement going. And then I think asking people to share your stuff is really huge because it seems like not a lot of that is happening as much as I would like. When you post stuff, you want the help of your like friends and family to get your stuff out there. So I think it just don't be shy, man. Ask. Hey, can you, if you know anybody that you think would like this, can you share it? Let them know. That's huge.
I mean, the easiest things people could do is hit that share, like, and
it's free.
those buttons, those are free buttons.
Uh-huh.
I call them the give me's because they're so easy to give me those things. And people forget that they think they cost money and stuff. So like even leaving a comment like, "Hey, I liked it." Like,
what's weird, man? The posts that get the least are when I post something for sale. It's so freaking crazy, man. I can post like, "Hey, this drawing, $50. Let me know if anyone's interested." Like 3 likes, the same, like I'll post something else and it gets hundreds. It's so weird, man.
Yeah. I mean, the algorithm is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people kind of use different things. Some people use reels. Somebody uses just postings. Stories is a big thing as well. So it all depends.
Maybe they feel obligated, like, oh, I admitted that I would like this, like I would buy this, so maybe that's what's kind of holding them back.
Like I said, with everyone, the internet's very weird. It's very weird. I'm not going to even, get into that. That's a whole other topic altogether. But the whole thing is being found on the internet, right? That's the hardest part. And once they find you, sometimes it's just a following that builds and builds and builds and builds. Talking about the cons and everything that you've been going through in the sense of kind of going from con to con, where are you ending up next? So this is going to be airing like in September. So where are we going from September on?
Okay, from now is just going to be staying home, grinding on the weekends, trying to knock out maybe a few sketch covers a weekend to lead up to Icon, of course. I'm really looking forward to being a guest there, man. That's going to be exciting. Yeah, and there, hell yeah. That's the biggest local show, that I'm really looking forward to, man. So thank you for having me. I'm really stoked for that.
Yeah, no, I want to make the show about you guys, right? I mean, the whole thing is like everybody has a chance to go to a Comic-Con and they become the guest artist and stuff like that. I had a pleasure of meeting you a couple times at Terrificon, and you finally broke down and said, you know what, I'm going to do the show. So it's great to kind of have people, stop by the Comic-Con and finally meet you if they haven't met you for the first time, and become part of your following. I mean, my whole thing is about, building local centric, and like, I guess you could call them bubbles, if you will, but also to kind of branch out beyond that. And I don't know if you saw a lot of the videos that I had at Terrificon. I try to make sure that I supported a lot of the people that are going to be at my show. Because, I'm not everybody knows who you guys are, let's say, right? And it's unfortunate for them because when I get to meet you guys and I see some of the works that you do, it's some great stuff. And I would love to do some pickups and stuff like that. And we also have a CGC facilitator at Icon. So hopefully, if you have anything that you guys want to submit, you can bring right there. We have the Knights of the Comic. They're going to be there to kind of help with the submissions. And you can get your artist signed right there. And the good thing about it is it's more intimate than the big guys. because like, artists like you, in some cases, you don't have a close knit area where people are kind of like running past you and they're going to like some of the stars that are there, and like,
Sure.
Haley Atwell's at Terrificon, everybody's rushing over to her, and nobody's paying attention to the artists. The people who dreamt up these characters, drew them on paper, and gave them the capability of bringing them to life after the fact, right? Because like you brought these, like you would bring these characters to life. You've drawn Magneto, you've drawn Rexplode, Spider-Man, Punisher, and then somebody comes up and they make a movie about it, and it's the likeness of the character that you drew. It's kind of like you're kind of like, this is like real now. It's real, so it's great stuff to kind of see a lot of the artists and kind of give a call back to the original part of what comic books are about.
Right.
And so that's why I invited you, and I really do appreciate you coming and giving us the time. Let's say we have a contest, and we were saying, hey, we want you to draw XYZ. What character would you be your go-to to draw if it was like, I need you to draw a sketch cover in 5 minutes? Let's go.
Okay. Yeah. Probably Batman would be the easiest.
Okay.
Cowl, logo, lots of shadow,
just draw it black and then put in the grays.
yeah. But it would come out pretty badass. That would be something cool.
I'm going to challenge you on that.
Okay.
No, but that's the whole important part, is because some of these things come out of not only like the knowing how to do the art, but then the love of the art. The shadows, the way the colors are supposed to look, and then when they come out, it's just like, wow. Like if anybody has checked out his Instagram, I'll tell you that there's a photo that or I should say, there's an image that he did in watercolor of Magic. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's Magic.
Yeah.
Right. Because I see the hair coming out. Like probably one of the best Magics I've seen drawn is that one right there.
Wow.
It was done pretty well, and it's abstract. It's not necessarily like realistic drawing. In some cases, like when you see these advanced art, it's not the exact person like Picasso, Van Gogh. You're giving more of an abstract, and that kind of brings the love of the character and kind of like the energy of the character into the actual art. So shout out to AJ right here.
Thank you, man.
He hit the mark on that one.
Yeah, I want a big Magic and Stylock kick right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're big with Marvel Rivals. I mean, if you watch the video game, those characters have different skins. They're giving you inspiration. So maybe Jeff the Land Shark is also everybody's favorite as well. So I'm not sure if you're going to draw him, but so moving forward, just because I want to make sure that we have everybody that you're going to be visiting. So now you're going to go to Icon in November. Is there any other shows that you have that we can kind of give a shout out to?
I think the next day you've got Collector's Universe in the town of Nanuet at the hotel there. So that's going to be a nice local show too, man. Yeah, but I really like your show is going to be so art centric. I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm going to bring a whole bunch of new stuff, man.
We have a lot of artists, not a huge amount, but we have like at least coming together, I'd probably say between 10 and 11 artists. And then the rest of them are going to be comic book art, like comic book vendors, and then collectibles. Okay. And then we have a couple podcasters sprinkled in and 2 voice actors.
Oh, nice.
So it's really cool to kind of bring, some basic, like, this is bringing you back to what comics were really about, the art, the writing, and, really kind of like the story, right?
Yeah.
You can always get the actors there, right? You could, one, it's expensive, but 2, you could always get the actors there, but they're not the fan, right?
Yeah.
You guys are the fan.
Thank you.
You guys are the ones that put the dream on paper and then get people to fall in love with it. So that's why I like to support the Comic-Cons this way, is because it brings it back to the way that art was supposed to be built on, is
that's
art,
dope.
The story and stuff like that. Yeah. And we love and encourage kids to come. Anybody that's 11 and under, they can come for free. Check out some of these artists. I mean, they have so much to offer. AJ, I know that you got a lot of things going on. I want to make sure that we get as much as we can. I did ask you a little bit of kind of like what you would ask people, like, to inspire them to do kind of the things that you've done and the hustle that you've done, right? You have a 9 to 5, kind of, you explain to people, like, how do you balance it? What's your best advice to balance the life of somebody by day, somebody by night type of mentality?
I mean, for me, I had to figure out a way to make time to do what I love. So it's sometimes it's like waking up early. Like if you have a big family, wake up before everybody else and just sit down and draw. Just really find those times where you can do that. Sometimes I like to go to like meet up with other artist friends. We go to like cafes or even comic shops. They have a room in the back where they're playing Warhammer. You can like all get together there and sit down at a table and draw together. Kind of, I would say stuff like that is what I would do. Because again, it's all about um, getting up with a few other people and kind of like spitballing ideas, and that's how the creative juices get flowing. So I mean, if you're a solo introvert, there's going to be you're just going to be you can sit anywhere on your iPad and draw, and that's great too, so it's really varies from person to person. I would have to talk to someone for a few minutes and kind of feel them out and see what style or what personality they had, and then I could better advise them.
Yeah, I mean, listen, everybody needs a mentor, and everybody needs to be a mentee sometimes, right?
Hmm.
So, inspire people as you have done. You've gotten people to pick up your art and say, "Oh my God, I love this."
Yeah.
So, you inspired people, and now on top of that, you also look for other people to give you feedback, and that's like the mentoring part, like somebody's mentoring you. I definitely recommend for everybody to kind of look at that type of scale, because nobody in life goes without those two different panels of being a mentor or being a mentee, right?
Yeah.
So like you definitely need that stuff. AJ, thank you, man. I really do
Yeah,
appreciate
of
you
course.
allowing me to interview you. The big thing that I want people to know is artists like him are the building blocks of what make the comic book world what it is. That's what Icon Comiccon is all about. We have a plethora of different artists. We do have a custom poster coming up. It's going to be the Thundercats. So I'm announcing it today. So thanks, AJ.
Yeah.
So every artist that's going to be there is going to be able to do an iteration of their art in a Thundercats themed character. We're going to have everybody there to sign it, so that way it actually supports them as well, so that you can come and check out more of their works. We have an author there. We have comic book vendors. We have voice actors like Patrick Hickey Jr. and Barrett Letty. We have Ryan Gary Brown. We have Gus Mock. We have AJ. We have a couple other artists that are coming, especially like Chris Madd, who's actually the one that drew this logo for us. We pick a different logo artist every year, and we support them that way. And we have raffles every hour on the hour from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's all about the fun. It's all about the fandom. Definitely stop by. Icon Comiccon is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. November the 1st at the Fishkill Rec Center, 793 Route 52. If you in Fishkill, New York. If you guys pick up your tickets ahead of time, it's only $5 for anybody 12 and up, and then it's free, absolutely free for anybody 11 and under. We want to bring kids. We want to inspire the next comic book artist to come into our facility and say, I want to be a comic book artist. I want to be just like AJ, and I want to be able to draw for the rest of my life and give them that inspiration, because guess what? Comic books built this movie world that we're in right now, the superhero movie world. And that's kind of like what came from artists like him. So that being said, everybody, this is Mr. 845. Again, AJ, thank you very much. Check us out.
Pleasure.
Yeah, check us out every Monday, 12 in the afternoon. That doesn't mean you don't have to share it, okay? 12 in the afternoon is when they release. At any point in time, you can hit that share button. Support artists, comic book creators, and writers that we interview to kind of help them grow as well. Every Monday, 12 in the afternoon, it's Behind the Comic Book Podcast. All right, guys, check you soon.